So often as politicians we talk about what is politically possible, but with the climate crisis we need to move from the art of the politically possible to the science of what is necessary. When you're drowning, you don't ask yourself, ooh, what's politically possible? You do whatever it takes to survive. When the banks crashed in 2008, the political consensus of this place was to save them by any means necessary. The cost, according to the National Audit Office, £1.2 trillion, 10 years of austerity, public service cuts and vast human suffering. But now, instead of a banking collapse, we face a climate and ecological collapse. Catastrophes of biblical proportions. Droughts, pestilence, famine, flood, wildfires, mass migration, political instability, war and terrorism. Global civilization, as we know it, gone by the end of this century, unless we act. The response from the benches opposite, well, I'll try not to be too partisan. But the green light for fracking, fossil fuel subsidies boosted by billions, onshore wind scrapped, Solar Support Act, the Green Home Scheme eviscerated, zero carbon homes abandoned, the Green Bank sold off, Swansea tidal stuffed, Heathrow approved. If Tory environmental policy in 2010 could be summed up as hug a husky, then 2019's policy looks more like shoot it, skin it and boil it down to its bones. So it's to this background, with the science of the climate crisis over here and government policy over there, that Greta Thunberg, the youth strikers and the Extinction Rebellion appeared. They arrived on the climate crisis debate like gatecrashers at a premature funeral, smashing through the window in a shower of glass to announce to a hushed congregation that the patient was still alive. Their message to this place is simple. The time for incrementalism has passed. Act now, change now, or be swept by those that will. This offers us a chance to fundamentally restructure our economy to deliver good, secure, well-paid jobs as we mobilise to decarbonise our economy on a grand scale, to reinvigorate and strengthen our democracy, to massively reduce social and economic inequalities, to protect and restore vital threatened habitats and carbon sinks. And finally, we must onshore the global financial system, bringing it back under democratic control. And that brings me to my final point. To navigate global society through the perils of the 21st century will require two key things: global cooperation and human ingenuity and passion on a scale hitherto unseen in our entire history. President Kennedy summed this up in his moonshot speech of '62. He didn't ask what it would cost, he asked instead what it would take to succeed. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organise and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because the challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one that we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.